So the world is pretty balanced. There are positive things and there are negative things. And optimists tend to look at the positive things. Pessimists obviously tend to look at the negative things. But if you look at the positive things, the world tends to be a pretty positive place. So a couple of years ago, I was going through this program to help myself become more confident. And a mentor of mine, I emailed him my frame of mind that I wrote out. A frame of mind is a list of things that were supposed to help me develop a better mindset about the world. You know, people like me because of this. The world's a good place because of this. There's an abundance of relationships to be had with people. All this stuff. And then I wrote one thing that was just part of it. I like rejection. It helps me grow. And I sent this whole thing to this mentor that I had worked with, and he emailed me back and he said, "That's all like pretty good, Troy. What is, but this one line right here, do you actually like rejection? Or do you not really like it, but you just, would a better way to put that be like, I know that rejection is a part of life. And, you know, something else, and then also including the part about it helping you grow. Because personally, I'm glad you pointed that out, because I don't particularly like rejection. But I think we all have to accept rejection as part of life and look at what we can do with it. You know, when somebody rejects you or you have a bad breakup, what can you do with that to improve? Because a lot of people, when they get rejected, whether it's just a rejection of somebody that they like right now, or it's like a big breakup, somebody that they're in a relationship with, breaks up with them, a lot of times they spiral and they let it affect their mindset. You know, they'll actually let that rejection determine how they act. Like, it becomes a very, very big influencer in their mindset. And they're like, oh, see, girls do hate me, or people do hate me. Oh, the world is out to get me. Oh, and they let it, they look at the rejection as a reason to believe all of those things. But why are those beliefs even in your head? Like, why are you telling yourself that stuff? Is that stuff helping you? So my whole view on rejection is, when it happens, what can you learn from it? And how can you prevent rejection from, or not prevent it, but like maybe, what can you do so that rejection happens less with the types of people that you don't want to experience rejection with? Like, that's important too, right? Because if you're truly being yourself, or if you're truly living a life that's authentic to you, and you're choosing the types of people that you want to be around, you actually do want certain people to reject you, but you don't want others. You actually want to have certain people around you. So let's say you get into a group, or you get into a relationship with the type of person that you want to be with, and then they reject you. What you can do is you can look at why, like, what actually happened. Why did they want to stop seeing me? Was there something that I did? Or was there something that I could have done better in the relationship? That's something that's helped me a lot, by the way. It's helped me improve in every single relationship that I've ever had. Whether it was like, oh shit, she broke up with me because I didn't communicate my intentions clearly. I'm communicating clearly in the future now. Or, oh man, I got really lazy and I stopped improving myself. I turned into a different person than I was when she liked me in the first place. Or maybe just in the short term, like, I approached this very attractive woman or this very attractive person, and they didn't want to be with me, or they didn't want to keep talking to me. Why? What could I improve next time that would lead to maybe them wanting to talk to me? If you don't have that mindset around rejection, like, if you can't just step back and like do that, and you let the rejection say something about you, I'm convinced if you're that person, you don't want to be accepted by people. because actions speak louder than words. So if you actually wanted to be accepted by people, and if you actually wanted to improve your life, you would just respond to rejection like by looking at what you could do better next time. You know, it just makes sense, right? If you want more people in your life, or if you want more quality people in your life, you look at what you can do differently, and then you start behaving differently so that maybe people accept you. And behaving differently, that doesn't mean like sacrifice your values, like use your brain a little bit, you know? This is like nuance, because I could see people listening to this and being like, oh, well, I don't want to change just for other people. I get that. Like, I get it. You don't just want to change yourself for other people. I'm on the same boat. But, like, can we all acknowledge the obvious that if you're not getting a certain outcome in life, or if you're not being accepted by anybody, if you're not fitting in, it's probably you. It's probably not them. It's probably not the world. Like, let's live in reality. So that's where you really need to decide, like, do I need to change a little bit? And you should want to change. What? I hate saying like should, like as if my opinion is supposed to be your opinion. Should, could, whatever. The point is, your results in life are not going to change unless you actually change something about yourself. If you're going out and you're interacting with the world and the things that you want to happen are not happening, it means you need to change. You need to change what you're doing. You need to change who you are. Something needs to change. And this turned into a rant. But my whole point with this video is it's not really a matter of trying to get yourself to like rejection or not feel the pain of rejection or enjoy the pain of rejection. It's not really about that. Because like what you feel when you're rejected doesn't really matter that much. You can leverage that feeling. Like you can remember the feeling of like, oh man, I screwed up this relationship because I got lazy and then she rejected me. Like you can use that feeling to hold on to it and remember and make that lesson a thing that you remember for the future. But ultimately, like, don't get hung up on the feeling, because the feeling doesn't really matter. It's about the lesson. It's about what you learn from rejection. So you don't necessarily need to like or not like rejection. At least that's what I've learned. If you want to improve, you just need to look at like what caused the rejection and what can you do better in the future, and that's it. And then if rejection happens again, it's data. That's what it is. It's data. And I'm not saying don't feel your feelings. Like, sit there, be depressed, feel it completely. That's fine. But like at the end of the day, when you're moving on, right? Like let's say, boom, breakup happens. You're controlled by your emotions for like 4 days. You're crying. You're in bed. You can't even get out. When you start to get out of bed, when you start to move forward, then what? That's the most important part, is what you choose to do. Do you choose to continue being a fucking loser because, oh no, rejection happened, so my life's over? Or do you choose to get up and go, okay, that hurt, but let me see what I can change about myself to get a different outcome in life. Was this video helpful? Let me know.